On from their 5-2 win against Leicester in midweek in the League Cup. It's a 1-1 draw against Chelsea in a game that offered very little. 11 shots for Manchester United, 12 for Chelsea, 4 on target compared to 3 on target, with an XG of nearly 2 for Manchester United. Remember, that includes the penalty as well, and 1.53 for Chelsea. 20 Manchester United touches in the Chelsea box. Only one of them all game was for Rasmus Højlund. 94 passes in the final third compared to 114 for Chelsea. And Manchester United's possession of 46% is the second lowest that they've had so far this season.
To be honest, I think we had the better of the chances in the game. I remember Ghana was close 3 times, and Marcus hit the post with a great attack, and Bruno in the last couple of minutes where he had the shot that bounced off one of the Chelsea defenders. But overall, I think the performance of the players was fantastic. They left their role out there on the pitch, and in the end we settled, of course, for the draw.
And just watching you celebrate the penalty, it was almost like you were taking it and celebrating it. It was one of your goals.
Yeah, it was a great moment. When you hear Old Trafford explode in such an important moment, Bruno did really well taking it, and then the emotions come out.
Yeah, you've got 2 more to go, but I just sense that
and after that, we get behind him to make Manchester United better every day.
Your passion for the club is obviously clear, and you want to stay on. Do you know yet any clarity on whether you'll get that opportunity?
No, I think over the coming days or weeks, everything will be in communication and talked about, and I'm waiting for that. But what's more important, and tomorrow we're in again at Carrington and get back to work and prepare ourselves for the Europa League on Thursday.
Yeah, I think you said before the match, not spoken to Ruben Amorim yet. Do you know when that conversation happens?
No, I can't. I don't know. But it will happen, and for the time being, I focus on my job.
You've seen the club from the inside, obviously, these past few months. You also know what it's like to be part of a really successful Manchester United team. So how big is the job ahead for him and for you if you're part of it?
Oh, but I think today what you saw against a very good Chelsea side, I think we competed very good. I think like I said, we had the better chances, and I felt slightly disappointed that we didn't take the 3 points. So this is the way forward for this group of players, and I saw some excellent performances today. I saw some great performances.
Who particularly impressed you?
Well, I have to say, from the back, the centre, Lisandro and Matthijs did a great job. I think Nistlerooy had an excellent game, and Casemiro is doing a great job. So Bruno took the responsibility. He was involved in all the attacks. So I don't think anyone really missed out today.
What are this group like, Rui? I mean, you'll know, you've seen it alongside Erik ten Hag. They've had a lot of criticism. Not so much for talent, but application, effort, how much they care. You know what it's like. You're on the inside of it. Are they a good group?
It's a good group of players, a good group of people. And I think what you saw today was a team with spirit. They left everything what they had on the pitch, and you saw the connection there with the fans that then occurs, and that's what we're looking for. And waiting, can't wait to build on that for Thursday.
Thanks for your time.
Everything on the pitch.
Don't worry about the score. Don't worry about the
results.
results, because he said they're great lads. That's key.
Great lads.
Yeah, they're all great lads. Don't worry about football results. Once they're all great lads. I'd rather work with bad lads who put a shift in and run. They're all great lads. They all can be great lads. I know it's an awkward question for. He's not going to say they're not good lads.
He said a good group.
A good group.
Yeah.
Well, that's not great either, is it?
Yeah, and he's in a position as well.
Yeah, what's a good group?
If he keeps him, if Amorim comes in and says, you know what, I want to keep you, Ruud, as one of my assistants, he can't then turn around and say, no, they're not a good bunch of guys. He has to say that. He's got no choice. But I don't know what Amorim's plans are. Is he going to bring his own staff in? Is he going to maybe want Ruud van Nistelrooy in the staff as a number 2?
Well, look, let's take a look at Manchester United's big problem area, which is scoring goals. That's been a massive issue for them so far this season. It's been a bit longer term than that as well. So if this is their problem area, if they're 18th in terms of goals, 20th in terms of XG performance, so they're not creating the quality chances, and then when they get them, their shot conversion is 19, so they're not converting those chances either. And if it's a big chance, they're even lower again. So if that's your problem, do you then keep a club legendary striker on your books? Can that help?
I don't know. The best person to ask in this out of us three is a goal scorer. I mean, did you have someone to work with you with training? Did Didier Drogba have someone? Does that make a big difference if you had someone educating you or finishing?
I don't think it directly relates, and I'm not putting Ruud down there. I'm sure he's very, very capable of working with attacking players to finish, but any coach worth their salt should be. The thing that interests me when we look at the stats of that start, is anyone really surprised that that's what the first 10 games look like from what last season? I know they won the FA Cup, I'm not holding that back, but I think this has been coming. I don't think there's anything really that anyone's particularly surprised about, because last season, when you look at how they were they good defensively? No. Were they that great attacking? Probably better than how they started this season, but still no. Have they addressed it with personnel that have come in to improve it? No. So are you really surprised about it now? So this is where now it is a fresh start. It has to be some sort of a line in the sand. But turn the corner.
Yeah, but no matter who's coaching or managing, if you're missing... Well, if you look at the game last week at West Ham, the chances, United should have scored definitely at least 3 or 4 goals in the first half last week. So whatever about having a brilliant striker like Ruud on your staff, whatever it might be, these are players, these are international players, and they're missing them chances. Today, listen, they weren't really clear-cut chances, but they were good chances. You're still thinking the top player might go, I just need half a chance. And we're not seeing that with this group. So I don't think that's necessarily down who you've got in the coaching staff. That's sometimes about, we mentioned earlier about looking at young Chelsea players, giving them a chance, but then there comes a point where you go, Man United can't keep waiting for these players to mature until he'll be good in 12 or 18 months. Maybe other clubs can, but Man United can't. And that's where the new manager will have to come in and identify that and say, listen, I have to get strikers in. And guess what that means? More recruitment, more players. And United have spent a fortune over the last 2 or 3 years, and their track record on recruitment's not been great. This manager will have to come in, and if that continues, we'll say, I'll have to get a couple of attacking players in, strikers, maybe players he's worked with, and find more money.
But that hasn't gone down well buying players he worked with here, is it? Certainly with Ten Hag. That's been a problem. But the greatest comparison I suppose we can give is what happened with Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. They suffered for so long, 30-odd years without winning a title. And this is similar with what's happened at Man United. So when you saw what Klopp's team looked like to start with to what he got to in 2 or 3 years, it developed very, very quickly with good recruitment. The goalkeeper coming in, Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Salah. But they were great in their recruitment. They didn't, they were diligent. They spent well. They brought in players that could change the game for them.
And all of a sudden, they were patient, waiting for the right players.
But also good people. Good people that trained hard every day, set good examples. That's why it's been easier for Arne Slot. So he's got to have a couple of years at least. And that's why, obviously, with his contract situation, everyone's going, why only 2 years? He has to look at what he's got at his disposal. How many of these players are going to want to come with me? As Roy says, how many would you want to be within the trenches? If you looked at the 11, the squad today, I'm not sure there's too many you're going to see in a few years in that starting 11. I really don't. I think there's going to have to be a quick turnover. Now, I think Bruno said it himself, it's easier to sack managers to get rid of players, but I don't see too many there that you'll be going, he's at home watching that video today or watching it going, he'll do me. There's not many of them. And
we talk about the running, sorry, but it's also been smart you're running. I don't mean you run around like headless chickens and everyone's covering 13 or 14 kilometres. You have to be smart with it, but when you are running and you're closing teams down, you do it as a team. It's all individuals just sprinting to somebody, they're playing around in the spaces, everyone. That's where they lack that. They don't look like a team at it. They're just all doing their own little bit.
And the issue, sir, with scoring goals is that, talk about Jurgen Klopp with Mo Salah as an example. There's no way that Jurgen Klopp had to get Mo when he signed him to Liverpool and go, and what you do is you cut inside in that far top corner and then do it again and then take him the other way and do that. You don't do that. What Jurgen Klopp's job is to set a team up and get the best out of his best players and give them an idea that you go, this is what, and we all know what they were. That's great coaching. So this is what now the test for the new manager will be. You go, here I am, and if he can show progression to the end of the season, whatever that looks like, I think he'll have a good case to sit down in the summer and go, okay, owners, what are you going to support me because I need that. If you really want to go to the level, and the ones that haven't delivered, then they're not there. That will be the test for the coach.
Because I think you said you like Højlund, you said, but I have to be honest, it must be so hard playing as a centre forward in this team because you're working on scraps. You're not getting any supply line. There's no clever passes for you. He's having to wrestle against 2 defenders every time the ball comes up to him. So I don't really know what his level is. What's his ceiling? He had a good spell last year. I think he went 7 goals. He scored 7 in 7. And he thought, OK, he's turned the corner. But playing in this team, it's not easy for a centre-forward right now. So maybe with a bit more confidence and a different style, a structure, we might see a better... Because there will be 1 or 2 that jump out at you that are going to surprise us all. But it's just hard to tell right now because they're so devoid of confidence.
What would you do if you were Amorim in terms of your coaching staff? Obviously, he'll have his own backroom staff that he wants to bring with him. Do you think he keeps Ruud van Nistelrooy?
That's a good question. I don't know. The truth is, I don't know, Kelly. If he wants... I always... But if Ruud was looking to get the job and he wanted the job, I personally would... I always think you want number 2s that don't want your job. I think you want to work with people that are just going to come in. They're your man. When you go on that bus on the way home and you've been chinned, they've got to feel every bit of pain you do. Not thinking, well, if we lose a few more, I might have a chance of getting a job. That's not what you want. And I see a lot of number 2s that sort of hang around like bad smells. When managers get sacked, they stay there. That's not for me. I always think you want to get your staff that are going to be... They feel your pain every time you lose. So I don't know what Ruud wants to do.
I agree with all that. But we look back in the summer when there was changes in the background. Who brought Ruud to the club? Was it United? Was it the manager? Because there was a lot of changes in the background. So it depends on, does Ruud feel he's got loyalty to Den Haag? Or does he say, well, actually, it was the club that brought me in? But I agree. I think it's difficult when a new manager comes in. If he's bringing a lot of his own staff, maybe there won't be a place for Ruud. And maybe Ruud would be better off then stepping back because it's not easy. If he feels any loyalty to Den Haag, I always feel it's difficult to stay on. Loyalty, obviously, we get a dog.
I think the manager, if he comes in with his own staff, which I sort of predict he will do, I would think if he's got a group that he's enjoyed working with and had success, he'll bring them in because they'll know his way. He'll feel like they've got his back. But I think what he has to do as well is breathe a lot of positive energy into this place. Because I'm looking here, as much as we're saying you need to run, he'll have to set down all those things. They need to run more and this stuff. But there needs to be, I don't think that people enjoying coming in and playing and they enjoying going to work, get a sense that they're not. So I think he'll come in with a lot of sort of confident, fresh energy into the place. And then we'll see.
And there's always noises around Man United and you hear about the background, the changes and letting people go and letting great servants of the club go and stuff like this. But you just worry also about the morale in the background, with the staff. You know, people are losing their jobs and pay cuts and maybe the energy has been lost at United a little bit. You don't feel it around the stadium and, you know, again, a long way back on that side of it.
Let's get the Chelsea perspective now and hear from...
Well, Enzo, are you happy, unhappy? How do you feel about what you've seen?
No, we knew that it was a difficult game for different reasons, mentally, in different aspects. I think for big part of the game we managed and we controlled quite well. Probably the last 10 minutes we lost a little bit of balance, probably for the desire to win the game. But in any case, you don't have to lose the balance.
You said before the match that you thought United might be tactically different today with Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge, and you might have to adjust. Did you have to do that?
I think overall they were quite similar. Probably we expect them a bit more aggressive, but overall I think the game was quite clear.
And just tell us, at half-time you made a change with Gusto coming off, Cucurella coming on, and then James switching sides. Tactical, I guess. Tell us what the thinking was.
No, yeah, it was just a tactical decision, no more than that. Fortunately, Mauro is not injured, nothing, so we try something different.
Was there a spell second half, like you kind of said in your first answer, it felt like you had sort of control of a lot of the match, and then just around them going ahead, maybe you lost that control a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, in this stadium against this team, when you go down, it's very difficult to come back, and we did that. That is the most difficult thing. Then we try to win, and as I said, probably the last 10 minutes we lost a little bit of balance and we conceded something, but overall, as you said, I think for part of the game we controlled quite well.
I think Moises Caicedo didn't have the easiest start to his Chelsea career, which is obviously before you took charge. Is he becoming a really important player, and is he now giving his best football to the club?
I don't know, before I said many times, with us since we arrived he's doing fantastic and we are very happy with him and with all of them.
Any complaints about United's penalty or possibly a red card challenge towards the end for Martinez? Anything you want to say about that?
To be honest, I didn't watch back the penalty, but yes, they just show me the foul with the call that I think there is not intention to take the ball, and the foul is quite dangerous. But again, they are there to take a decision.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Roy, if Ruben Amorim is watching this, as he will be, trying to assess the scale of the job that he has in front of him, what do you think he will have come away thinking?
He should have signed a longer contract.
Because this is going to take longer.
There's a long way back for this team. I know, listen, a manager will come in, you hope he will get more out of this group. But this is an average United team. All the stats back it up. We keep, I suppose, repeating ourselves, and we come and watch Man United again today. You don't know what you're going to get with them. They could have won the game. They had a couple of chances toward the end, but you're looking also thinking there's a good chance they're going to lose it. It's hit and miss. Not good. It's not good. It's just, even when you're watching, I hate using the word, this United team is almost boring, seems a bit strong, but you're just looking, the lack of conviction in the chances. It kind of suited them a bit better towards the end. It was a bit open. You're thinking, listen, you seem to be getting more chance when the game was open. But really disappointed, so flat. Even the fans must be disappointed. But from the manager's point of view, this team, they're way off in terms of getting back into that top four and competing. Really disappointing performance.
When you say they're an average team, do you mean the way that they work together collectively, or do you mean that as a group of players,
I think a bit of everything.
average players?
I think a bit of everything. As a team, you look at them and you look at certain individuals, and maybe we think they're better than what they are. Some of them, they've got established international players. You come and watch them. You hang your hat on a team sometimes, but you look at them and you go, well, technically they're very good, or they're big and strong and physical, or United are a bit. They're just kind of average at everything. They're not very good at anything special. And the lack of goals is still hard to believe. But then when you look at some of the chances they've created and the opportunities they're missing, you're going, well, that's why managers lose their jobs here. And that's why you're down on the table. And that's why the goals record is what it is. Not good enough. Obviously, again, today was a set piece. The goal they got, penalty is a set piece. And they gave away a goal from a set piece. So it's proper hit and miss, but more likely it's going to be a miss. And if the United fans are coming here today, United fans must be going away today scratching their heads thinking, this is... Again, it was very quiet at Old Trafford today. We mentioned before the game there might be a reaction with the manager leaving and Ruud on the sideline. But it wasn't. They were just sitting there hoping something might happen, not necessarily believing something would happen. And the game, I was glad when the referee blew the final whistle. I wasn't getting too excited with it.
Manchester United waiting on the arrival of their new full-time manager in Amorim. There's still a little while to go until he comes in and meets the players and takes charge. So they're at a different stage of their journey from Chelsea, where they've had a few months under Enzo Maresca, and it seemed like it was coming together. What did you make of today's performance, Frank?
I think it underwhelmed slightly. I think the game underwhelmed two teams. I just think it was an opportunity here. Now, I think Manchester United are never there for the taking, because I think this place, Old Trafford, and the players at Manchester United still have in their team moments of quality like we see, can always affect the game, and it kind of did. But I think how Chelsea have been playing, I think they're quite confident in what they're trying to do. They've got offensive players at the top of the pitch. In Cole Palmer wasn't quite as effective in the game as we've seen him recently. Neto, Maresca in the first half, Jackson. You're looking at this game, we're watching it, and you're kind of going, there's a real opportunity here to go 1v1 or some speed or find a pass. And they just kept missing passes, really, missing the final pass, missing that bit of, you go, come on, let's see what you've got. So I think they'll be disappointed. But then I suppose if you're on the flip side and you want to go, where are they in the process? Okay, they're getting better. And it might be a game like this, we were saying, we've all played them, where you come away and it's a bit of a messy game, and you come away, you go, OK, let's move on. How can we improve? So I think a bit disappointing, because it was an opportunity, not the end of the world, but you want to see a bit more than what they showed at the top end of the pitch, particularly for me. And they got a bit sloppy in the second half. Some of the passing. It's like, if you're going to go to the next level and bridge the gap that's clearly there, it's OK, can we be really efficient in all the things that we try and do? And they weren't quite that today.
Jamie, as a game, what do you think it offered?
Well, up until the goal, it was really poor. It was a tough watch. It was really difficult. Lack of quality, lack of composure, players making mistakes, ball bouncing up. It looked like a pub game at times. It genuinely did. When you think about these are the Premier League players, the top of the top, and they didn't show that. And it was hard to watch. The only thing I will say from United's point, I've seen them worse this season. They've had worse performances. I've looked at some games when they've just been like outclassed, outfought in every department, not winning individual battles. It was difficult. Amorim coming in, he's not. I mean, until the players and he can start to work with them and starts to get his shape and how he wants them to play, he's undoubtedly going to play three at the back. That's what he does. It's going to be hard for us to really tell, because I look at that United team and I can't figure out if some of them aren't necessarily good players or they're just so devoid of any confidence and any idea of what they're doing. So until we actually see them, maybe giving him the benefit of the doubt, there's absolutely no doubt he's got to change players. Personnel, people have to leave. There's been players that have been here too long, seen off too many managers. There has to be some kind of changes. But until he comes in, he'll have his own ideas. So we're going to have to just wait and see what he wants.
United, when you look at United, they're just playing moments, isn't it? They'll have the little moments of quality, as we saw with the ball for Casemiro for the goal. But that's nowhere near good enough for a Man United team. You can't just depend on moments. You've got to have a structure, you've got to have a way of playing, a desire, even when a goal up, see the game out, to concede within 4 minutes. You've got to dig deep.
That might be the flip of it for the new manager, though. He might see that as a little bit of a blank canvas for him, in a sense of, I think it's normal, I think, when you're a manager and a job's in front of you and you take it. We're sitting here and critiquing this game, but he'll be going, well, confident. He comes across very confident. He'll be going, well, that's what I can improve. I can improve that. And the basics of the game are, what's your structure? How compact are you off the ball? Manchester United, I think Gary mentioned in the co-coms, probably the worst pressing team in the league. It's Manchester United. That can't be right. You've got to make sure that you've got capacity to run and desire to run. And when I watched that, all the modern teams now that can press have wingers that will run back and forward and back and forward.
But what you don't
It's
want to
not
have a
happening
team is, when you're speaking to opposition players and teams, you've got Man United are easy to play against.
Yeah.
Chelsea weren't good enough to punish them today, because again, it's still difficult for certain teams to come here and win. But they had plenty of joy, they had plenty of opportunities. I don't think they'd be in the dressing room after the game, the Chelsea players going, oh my God, we got out of we managed to get a point at Old Trafford today. They thought, we kind of let United off the hook today, because they weren't at their best.
There's two ways to look at it. I suppose you look at what Liverpool and Arne Slot had to. He had a team already there with a style of play, an understanding, good culture at the club. So probably an easier job for him, although I thought it wouldn't be, but he's certainly made it look easy. Whereas for Amorim now, he's going to come in and thinking, what have I got here? Why has this group of players seen off so many managers? Why have they been so poor at times? Obviously they've had moments when they've won cups, but what can I do to change the mindset, the philosophy, just to make them more combative in games, because that's the thing that Roy said at the start of the show. Are they going to run? When you see this team, they get outrun in so many games. How does he change that mindset? That's going to be the hard thing for me.
Yeah, it could be a tough task ahead of him. But as you said, it's a team of moments, Manchester United. They did have their moment when they got awarded the penalty. I don't think there's any question as to whether it is, certainly when you look back at it.
No, it's a brilliant ball in. And we were critical of Hoyland. Doesn't take a great touch, gets helped out with the goalkeeper, and we all probably agree it probably is it is a penalty, obviously. He does catch him.
I mean, this is his only touch in the box, Hoyland, which we'll come back to.
He'll be disappointed he's not scored himself here. Of course, the team ended up scoring, because these are important moments for him. You're not going to get many chances, especially if you're not in the box, but he's in there, and it's a good lesson for him. If you get in there, players will hopefully, like Casemiro and Bruno, pick you out.
There's something about him I like, actually. I think there's a keenness, and he wants to do well for the club. You can feel that, and that being his one touch in the box. For me, when you look at it, and there's them waiting to see it goes in, which is an interesting moment. Do you like that one, right?
Lovely to see.
Yeah. But I just think with Hoyland, I feel for him, because a lot of those moments that Roy talks about, sort of counter-attack, fast things happen, it's quite hard for him to sort of get up and be in the box. They don't spend enough time up the pitch controlling the game, where he can be in the box and keep making constant movements. So that's why that's his one little moment he's had today.
Yeah, and it was a really well-taken penalty by Bruno Fernandes, and managed to put Manchester United 1-0 up. And look, Ruud van Nistelrooy is only temporarily in this
How do you think Eric Ten Hag would be feeling watching that? Joke said when you
Probably,
see...
where's my Rolnick? He stole his Rolnick, hasn't he?
You want my cardigan?
They were only ahead, though, for 4 minutes, because that goal from Caicedo, wasn't it?
It was, and the hard bit about this for him is that it takes these balls that come out of the air and take a bit of time. You've really got to focus and keep your eye on the ball.
Not a great header, do you think that? I don't know, is that might being harsh? Is he stretching again? Little details?
Yeah,
do you know?
Maybe, yeah. You're heading into an area which is still a dangerous area. But I think that skill there of keeping your eye on the ball and then staying over it, I don't think it's something he's completely known for. I'm not sure how many times people will do that. He's not known to do that. I thought he had a really good game. He was the best player on the pitch. It's a really clean strike, and he did well to stay over. They can end up kind of going anywhere. He caught hold of it really well.
Because it was a difficult time. When he first signed from Brighton, there was obviously a big fee. didn't settle very well, struggled, and there was a lot of question marks about it. But now you're seeing the real Caicedo that we saw at Brighton, where he was fantastic. He was everywhere, a little bit like Kante, wasn't he? Cover every blade of grass, going forward. Interception right at the end of the game, which was so important for his team. I thought he was different class today. And that's what you got your money on for. That's what you're spending big money on, because it did take a lot of time for him to settle down. I don't think the balance with him and Enzo Fernandez is right. He looks much better with Lavia, who's got more pace, more energy to get around the pitch. And as you said, Frank, I mean, you scored plenty of goals from outside the box. That's not an easy finish either, is it?
It's interesting as well that you say that the balance is better with Lavia, because it was seen as Chelsea being maybe a little bit greedy in the transfer market to go for two players in that position, that maybe that might just be one for first team and one for backup. But it's actually not how it's worked out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you do need extra players. You need a squad. But I think because Enzo Fernandez was the first one that came to the club for a lot of money, I think people sort of their eyes are on him, and now Lavia came at a lesser amount and was injured for quite a while. But I think when you talk about balance, Caicedo can do a lot of that. It's more positional than Kante, but I see exactly what you mean, winning things back. And Lavia can certainly receive and pass forward and find a bit more of a cute pass through lines than I think either of the others. So for Enzo now, he'll have to work hard, Fernandez, to get back into the team, because them two do look a good balance.
There's chemistry in it. It's chemistry relationship with the players. Doesn't mean say one better than the other, but just the two of us seem to work better than the other, and that's it. So it's the chemistry between two players. Same with the centre halves. Sometimes you just have a good partnership, and that seems to be working for Chelsea at the moment.
When it works for Manchester United, when they do get forward and they have those opportunities, what works for them? What would you take away from this?
Do you know, it's with United with them, I don't mind necessarily they're just playing in moments, as long as they take these chances. Like this again, lovely ball, Rashford a bit, no conviction in his finishing. So when it's kind of off the cuff stuff, I know Gary was critical, but that's just the way this United team play. And almost when the game's chaotic, United team is if they're going to end up scoring goals. And these are good chances. But can actually hit a chance like that against West Ham last week? Could Bruno give him a softer pass? Maybe. But just that little bit of composure. And that's the quality you need. And these United players at this moment in time certainly aren't scoring enough chances and not taking these opportunities. So again, I generally don't mind if it's just sometimes moments, as long as you're brilliant and clinical in these moments. This is a difficult chance, obviously. Would have been a great goal, but again, we go back to, can you hit the target? Difficult chance, that. But I think sometimes when it's almost off the cup with United, they look a bit better. When it's structured, and it's, maybe. Particularly for the attacking players. Look, this is where we're seeing Chelsea obviously trying to win the game, and this is where it becomes a bit open. And I think this is the big chance because of Bruno's quality. He scored a penalty, he scored a couple during the week with his confidence, and you're always expecting him. At his very best, he's hitting the target, but there you go, maybe sums up United performance at the moment. It's just a bit all over the place.
Yeah, and that consistency might well be the hardest thing to work on. If you know the players have got that in moments in the game, how do you kind of stretch that out over the 90 minutes?
Well, I think we'll find out with a new manager. It feels like the new voice and a new approach, talking about the structure of the team. I think he's too broken. They're far too big in and out of possession. I think they need to work out how they can get better connections through the team, better partnerships through the team. I think that will all help consistency. And individually, the players all have to show a bit of humility to the new manager. Go, we're going to show that we want to play for this club. And I'm not taking away. I don't think there wasn't a lack of effort today. It's not. The chaos is kind of everywhere. I think the effort is still there, but I think the fresh start and going back to the basics of what they want to be. And then you might go, okay, once we do the basics right, then we'll see the talent. Then we'll see our confidence start coming back in individuals within that. At the minute, it's like if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, oh no. Like it's very up and down at the minute.
And with all the big players there, when the new manager comes in, you have to say with the big players, who've won big trophies, some of them, you have to leave your ego at the door. This is about rebuilding Man United and get back to competing. And that's why you have to get the team together. I don't see a team out. I'm not saying for 1 second some of them aren't trying, of course, and it's all disjointed. But you've got to get that structure of a team, of personalities and characters and quality to go, this is where we think Man United can get back competing towards the top of the table. Because this group, they don't seem to have it at this moment in time. And a new voice, three at the back. Maybe you have to try something different, because the madness for all of us is coming every week to watch Man United and expecting something different. This is the norm now for Man United.
I don't know how they train, because I'm not privy to what they do in the training pitch, but good habits, and that's what the manager's going to have to do every single day, making sure that players run.